So I've had this desk set up for about 3 years now. And because I spend 9 to 10 hours a day at this desk because I'm trying to juggle my corporate job and my video editing, it only made sense for me to make a few little upgrades, improving my workflow. So the first thing that I've got is my desk is a basic Ikea desk, which has got your tabletop, it's got 2 legs, and the Ikea drawers. I think altogether it's cost me about £150. So the first thing that I decided to upgrade was my keyboard. My keyboard, I've upgraded it to a Keychron K2. So when I was looking for a keyboard, it needed to have 3 very specific things. One was it had to connect between a MacBook and a Windows machine, and it had to do that quite seamlessly because for personal use, I use a MacBook, and for work, I use a Windows machine. Next was that it had to be wireless, so it's just one less cable to worry about, and I'm not having to plug a cable in from one machine to another machine. Finally, it needed to have backlit keys. So I like to work during the evening or when it's dark, so it gets quite difficult to see the keyboard if you don't have backlit keys. Next, I've been using the same mouse since lockdown, but recently I started to get a little bit of wrist pain. So I've decided to buy the MX Master 2S. So again, it had to be wireless, which this is. It had to be ergonomic as well. So my thumb just fits really nicely into it. It's got loads of buttons, and one of the key features for this is you can flick between 3 different devices at any time just by pressing that button, which is pretty cool. So if I'm flicking between work and personal, and I can do that fairly easily. When it comes down to charging my phone, what I do is use an iPhone charging cable and plug it into my laptop and plug it into my phone. So sometimes I just nip out to the kitchen, come back, I'm running late for a meeting, and I always forget to put my phone on charge. So it makes sense to get myself a wireless charging dock. And I picked this one up from UGREEN. It was quite cheap on Amazon. And honestly, it's like one of the best things about my setup. So it wirelessly charges, it just cycles through some of my old photos that I've taken. Oh, and as a bonus, it also charges my AirPods. The only thing that it doesn't charge is an Apple Watch. So that's the only downside. So I still do need to charge this separately. So also on my desk, I've got 2 model cars. One's a Lamborghini and one is a Porsche. I picked both of these up from Japan when I went traveling there. And then I've got 2 Hot Wheel cars. For some weird reason, I paint stripped them, so they've got no paint on them, but I still really like them, so I've put them on my desk. Next to my desk, I have an air purifier that I primarily use in the summer months. Temporarily, I'm using it to place my drone. I got the drone as a birthday gift, and the first time I flew it out, the drone just flew off and it didn't come back. But luckily, DJI said the drone malfunctioned and they gave me another one in replacement. So I've still not flown this drone out. I'll hopefully do that soon. I'll probably make a video the first time that I take it out. My walls just feel really empty and really need to get some art. So I've got this vinyl cover. I'm just using it as an example, and this is where I want to place some art just on the side of me here. I've been looking around, but I've not really found anything that I like. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. I'll probably get some wall art up fairly soon. No setup is complete without RGB lighting. The lighting that I chose isn't your normal cheap Amazon lighting. I've decided to get some BTF lighting, a little bit more expensive. I've decided to go for the plug version rather than the USB version just because it has more power. The good thing about these LED strips as well is they have more LEDs per meter as well. The look and feel of it is a lot better. And also these LED lights, each one can be a separate RGB color. So I thought installing this was going to be really easy, really simple. The biggest issue was I've got a monitor mount on my desk. I've just stuck over it, but in the future, if I want to move my monitors around, I basically have ruined my lighting setup. So that was the only drawback. But anyway, I wired everything up and everything worked as it should. And I now have RGB lights. I also added a Fado lamp back here. It's the orange light that you can see, which I think looks really cool. I might need to get a smaller version one because takes up quite a bit of space. Anyway, next I thought I need to add some greenery, which was a fake plant pot because I can't look after a real plant. There was one thing that was just still bothering me, and that was my cable management. Cable management is not the best. There's just wires dangling down. I thought it's only going to take me an extra half an hour. So to mount the extension cable on the underside of my desk, it was really easy. All I had to do was measure the distance of where the 2 screw holes would fit. I got some masking tape, put that on the underside of the table and just started to drill. Once I had the screws in there, I got the extension cable, plugged it in and connected all the plugs. So yeah, it's not perfect, but for an afternoon's worth of work, I feel like I did a decent job with that. So I'm not fully done with my space just yet. Still want to add some nice wall art behind me. Still want a standing desk. I still want a single widescreen monitor rather than having multiple monitors out. Maybe even a dock as well. I've got some big plans for what I want for this desk setup. But for now, this is my current desk setup.